Welcome back to Bucks Head and to Special Stage Live. This is coverage of round 6 of the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship. I'm Paul Woodford, and once again I am delighted to be joined by our Legend Fires rally crew, who really should be in a Polo R5 this weekend, but they're not, which is bad news for them, good news for us. John Stone, Laura Marshall. John, good morning for some, not so good for others.
No, it looks like Callum's out, which is a shame really, because he was going well when we saw him.
Just see on the screen now a picture of Callum's car. It beats John, I think Laura said.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's too much damage, which is good. So I'm sure he'll be back out soon. And yeah, so Neil just has to get it round really. But well, looks like, yeah, no, it's just dropped a bit of time.
Just see on the screen now Neil Roskell coming into view and just struggling to squid that speed off, similar to Callum's incident actually, but he gets away with it. Laura, you spoke to Jack, everything okay? Callum, Jack, fine. The car was just beat.
Yeah, they said they were both okay. Just carried too much speed into a sharp right-hander, and the car just stepped out slightly, and away they went. Just couldn't get it back out. It was beached in the mud.
Callum was flying. There's perhaps just a feeling, John, that he wanted a little bit too much from this because he didn't need as much as he was getting at second overall against the local crews as well, did he? He was doing everything he needed to do without that much pushing.
Yeah, it was a bit, you know, there is a way to drive a championship, and unfortunately he was just pushing too hard. He wanted the rally win, I think, really, but yeah, he should have perhaps just backed off a little bit, really. But no, it was good to see that he was on the pace of Cathan and Niall, and yeah, great.
And ultimately, John's talking as a rally driver, looking from the sidelines and doing live coverage. That's what we want to see. We want to see you guys absolutely strapping your balls to the seat and going for it.
Strapping the balls to, yeah. No, but John Price always used to say to me, you know, there is a way to drive a championship, and flat out isn't perhaps the way, really.
Sorry, Laura's off again. She's gone with that comment. Yeah. I think it's meant to be foot to the metal, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that, isn't it? Yeah. But yeah, anyway, Neil's got the luck with him today, so I imagine that he'll get it round. And
although he was struggling, I think if I flick back to the information that we got down, Neil was saying that he just felt like he needed to dial the rear suspension in on the car, and you said that. You said it didn't look as settled, particularly as the Citroens.
No, it didn't look right, to be honest. And in fact, Steve Wood's just got in front of Neil now, so Neil won't be happy about that. He needs max points if he can, but there's not a lot in it. There's only what, 5 seconds, I think, so he needs to get his finger out, doesn't he?
Yep, so we're 5 down here. We're in Bucks Head, which is stage 6 of 8 here today on the Carryduff Forklift Down Rally. Not sure if I mentioned that's where we were, but I'm sure if you're watching you know exactly where we are. Though there are quite a few rallies on today. I know a fair few phones have been out watching live coverage from all over the place, which is great, isn't it? I know that a lot of you, in fact, we've got our intrepid reporter Damien Cole watching the live coverage. Hello Damien, good to have you with us. Another man who should really be in a car out here. You can hear the background from the spectators, the background noise. Well, do you know what? That's all part of the atmosphere, because I tell you what, the spectators have been fabulous this weekend. Last night in Lisbon, the atmosphere was absolutely spectacular despite the rain, and the rain, I should mention, actually is starting to come down here in stage 6. John, it's not really wet, we'd call it moist at the minute, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I think you could get away with a soft slick, or...
Can't I say that either?
Say what you want, Paul. You are Paul Woodford, you can say what you want. No, I mean, you could get away with a slick, definitely. I think the wise choice would perhaps be an MW, an intermediate thing or something like that, but definitely get away with a slick at the moment.
You're sat in that car and the weather changes and you sat there on a slick. What on earth is going through your mind?
Yeah, well, it's well, for me anyway, it's just a survival thing, isn't it, really? It's just to get through. We've got the first car coming now.
So this will be Johnny Greer, not registered for Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship points, but just as his old man, Davey Greer, in the course car, in the zero car, in the Yaris GR that came through just a few minutes ago, he got right on the lever, got that Citroen C3 round, and God, they're quick off the mark, aren't they, even when the conditions are damp like this?
Yeah, but it's just awesome seeing him come down the straight there and braking as late as you like, and I know he's not pushing, he's got championship commitments.
He said to us last night he has to finish 5th for the McGrady Insurance Motorsport UK Northern Irish Asphalt Rally Championship, and you don't often believe when you guys tell us things like this. I mean, you said it to me a few times over the years, John. I mean, I'm managing this one, and you know, I look at you with a wry smile, but it really does look like he is.
Yeah, but still absolutely awesome, very impressive.
That's experience, though, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, experience. Next car up is
Desi Henry, is it?
Yeah. really do look impressive, those Citroens, they really do.
Laura, have you got the live results up there overall? We've just got the Pro Tyre ones here. To remind you, the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship leaderboard looks like this. Steve Wood is now leading Neil Roskell, who is struggling a little bit with car setup, and as we saw earlier on at the start of this broadcast, just went off the road, managed to get it back, but has lost a lot of time. His main competitor for the title, though, Callum Black, is out of the rally. At the midway point, it was all Roskell's to lose, but he'll be hoping he doesn't do that, of course. He needs the points to cement that result as it stands at the moment. Steve Simpson has dropped into third place in the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship Cruise, which, I mean, he was steady away today, John. He was, as you put it earlier, that he was on old man pace. I can say that because you said it, but and because you were referring to your battle with Steve. But he'll pick up some pieces here today, and as far as the championship goes, that's usually a good day out, isn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't a disrespectful comment. It was
in context, I have to mention that.
Yeah, it was in context, and Steve will be happy with third in the championship, that's for sure. But he's using his head, isn't he? You know, he knows he can't compete at the moment for that ultimate pace, but he's doing well,
And William Hill in the Rally 3 Fiesta, the Hills Ford car. A pretty spectacular fourth place at the moment. You see Derek McGarity and Graham Henderson. I mean, the cars he's had over the years: Corolla World Rally Car, Imprezas, Mini Countryman WRC, I think, Metro 6R4, John.
Yeah. I mean, he's had all sorts as Derek, hasn't he? But he looked really impressive around there, to be fair. The car just looks awesome, doesn't it? You know, the Polos, they're just a proper bit of kit. Really good.
And if you don't know, you should know, and you will know, but John Stone himself has a Polo R5, which is currently being fixed after an off on the Argo. Pushing really hard. Catherine McCourt, who came out of the blocks leading this rally overall. Laura, have you got the results up yet? No. Is there a hopeful no there? You're turning it round, are you? Getting the hamster running in his wheel.
Catherine catching Derek there, really on it, really aggressive round that hairpin as well.
And that Fiesta under acceleration there as well, not as stable as the Citroens.
No, I don't think so, but I think I do remember Catherine saying that he likes a bit of an unstable car. He prefers that rather than something that's completely grounded. But yeah, it's going really well.
The locals enjoying themselves here in Bucks Head, stage 6 of the Carried a Forklift Down Rally. I was hoping it was the man who owns the house, otherwise I wonder where he come from.
The kettle offer's nice.
Yeah, Jason making some good ground. Super aggressive again from Jason. He's really getting the hang of that.
Just getting the rear wheels onto the grass there, and it's damp. It's a bit muddy on the edge of the road. You don't want to be doing that, do you?
No, I think Wayne didn't like that one.
He'll be considering his options at that point. The rain is starting to come back down now, which is not great if you stood by the side of a stage, but it is pretty good as far as the action goes, because it does mix things up. It does mean that those people we expected to be pushing really hard might back off, and it does mean that those further behind, well, it evens things out sometimes, particularly if someone's made a bit of a wide tyre choice because they've had the benefit of being longer in service. There's always that consideration as well, isn't it, John? If you've been sat there longer, you've got a chance maybe to do something and leave bang on your time because you've got as much chance as possible to see what's happening.
I mean, you know, if you were Neil Roskell there, you would have gone for a very safe tyre option, in my opinion. You'd have gone for an intermediate MW, something like that. It was on Michelin.
Could you see if he was or not?
I couldn't. Well, he's not been through, actually. I think here he comes now, actually.
Neil Roskell then comes here leading the championship. Oh, and he's not got quite around that hairpin. The Fiesta Rally 2 is into the hedge. Slight mistake there from Neil, but a slight mistake on a hairpin like that when you're carrying that speed means you're in the hedge.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy done, isn't it? You know,
again, lucky to get away with 2 big moments there, and he's got away with them today.
He's certainly got luck with him today, but being aggressive on getting out of that, he needs to just back off a bit, really.
Andrew Rifford will be telling him that inside the car now, when he'll be just holding him back well, maybe not.
No, I think Andrew will be shouting at him. Probably.
We've gone past telling him to back off.
If he wasn't, he is now.
Yeah. So a title fight on our hands here at round 6 of the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship, and the title leader has it all to play for here. Today's main rival, Callum Black, beached on a bank.
Yeah, you were catching Neil there, I think. Certainly taking time out of him, I would say.
Ewan Thorburn, Keir beaten, pushing really hard in that Polo R5 our Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship leader Roscoe, benefiting from Callum Black being out of this rally, but as John Stone said, now needs to manage the rest of the day. He's got 2 more stages to get through, and I tell you what, they're not going to be easy stages in these conditions, John.
No. I mean, we were here last year, and there was one particular stage, I can't remember which one it was, but it was incredibly slippy. I think the 3 or 4 cars went off in the same place. So yeah, just got to keep your wits about you.
A lot of crews reporting it being slippy in the 4th stage, as they say. Laura, we mentioned this last night in Lisbon, but it is so busy inside cars on rallies like this. You guys as co-drivers have got your hands full, and we'll come back to that as a car comes into view, but it's busy out here with 30-second intervals on the live TV coverage as well. As you see, Joe McConigal, Kieran Guiney making good use of that Citroen C3 and pushing hard. Laura, it's so busy inside these cars, you can't stop. There's barely any chance to pause for breath, is there, when you've got corners and calls, particularly when it gets damp as well?
No, definitely not. You don't get much time to think about it. But, well, to be fair, when you're on the pace and you're travelling at those speeds, it is a little bit easier to call the notes because you start to get that rhythm and know what's coming up next, even if they're coming up really quick.
I'm just always amazed on these closed road events just how much information you're firing out at the driver. How many corners ahead are you calling when you're in with John?
It's usually depending on what we've got coming up, but it's usually 1 corner ahead we go for, yeah. Also, it depends on the driver's preference. A lot of people can't take in that much information, and they like for obviously get little notes repeated or any danger calls repeated as well.
He's getting on a bit as well, isn't he? You don't want to force too much information in there. It'll come out the other side, won't it? Here we are then, Steve Wood and Rob Fack, who currently lead the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship charge today. They overhauled Neil Roskell through stage 5, and perhaps with the difference between the Fiesta Rally 2 and that C3, you saw the reason why. Steve Wood, Rob Fagg, very neat and tidy. Not to forget, of course, that Steve won this event in 2022. His title charge came alive here on the lanes of Northern Ireland in the shadow of the Mourne Mountains, and very much looks like he's got a good result on his hands today if he can keep it going as well. I mean, the point situation doesn't favour Steve, but is it over? That's the question, isn't it? This is where his title came on fire last year.
Yeah, it depends if Callum's going to go to Ceredigion, but Neil's dropped a bit of time there in that stage. He's going to have to start concentrating a bit, or maybe it's a wrong tyre choice, but I expect Steve to have taken time out of him there, I think.
13.
The technical man standing in the post up there says 13 down.
The technical man being Paul Morris, our championship coordinator here in the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Rally Championship. You see Alan Carmichael and Claire Williams through in the Hyundai i20 R5. The Hyundais a year or so ago were everywhere, and it seems to have been replaced with Citroens and Volkswagens. There's quite a short shift at the moment in terms of what car you need to be having.
Yeah, it's second nature to him, and there's certainly no difference in straight line speed. I think it's just down to handling now.
You're a big fan of Irish rallying, right? I know you are itching to be out here. I mean, earlier on you weren't so bothered. As soon as the cars started, I could see, and you talk very fondly about the drivers and the competition and the lanes and the stages out here.
Yeah, I mean, the characters aren't there, and that's what we need. We need to get the people's character out, because we have got the characters. We just need to get them out to show people. That,
hold my beer, John. We'll start getting people's characters out. We can do that. Here's a character, a couple of them, in fact. Stephen Simpson, Patrick Walsh, if I can get my words out. As I say, they're on for a podium position. Struggled a little bit there, didn't he? Let's not talk about chicanes and hairpins, though, John Stone.
Definitely not talk.
Got history there.
No, but I do think the the Mark II Fiesta is not as good at handbraking as the other cars, but I think there's an upgrade, and I think Steve's got that on, but it just doesn't look quite as good on the handbrake.
With these Rally 2 Fiestas and R5 cars, are you clutch down handbrake or just hanging onto it?
No, just pull the handbrake.
Automatically cut the diff?
Yeah, the rear diff, yeah. But yeah, you're just going to keep the throttle on as well, so yeah, just be aggressive.
Jason Dixon, Martin Brady. It's an aggressive line through that hairpin there, and taking a chunk of the bank on the inside with them as well. Is it still raining? It's sort of slowing down, but this is where it gets greasy though, isn't it? It's not one or the other.
Yeah, you can see the road. It's holding a little bit more water than it was. So yeah, it's one of those. It's a safe choice, definitely an intermediate, but you could probably get away with a slick, definitely.
We're another mile and a half or so into this stage from where we were earlier, so there's about a mile and a half to go roughly to the end of this Bucks Head stage.
It's just a fairly long straight down there with a couple of little bends in it, but nothing much. So yeah, I mean, once they passed us here, there's not much more to do really.
Hamilton's Folly up next then. Gregor Locke, and to remind you, Phil Bramall will be live in Hamilton's Folly again. He's going to be on the second of the jumps, I think, unless producer Wayne Goldring tells me otherwise. And that's going to be spectacular, so make sure you stay tuned in this afternoon to special stage here in the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship. You see Martin Cairns and Pete Ward through his first rally we mentioned earlier in a Subaru Legacy RS, and he actually won his class on the 1998 Galway. That's some going, isn't it, in your first rally?
Yeah, not bad at all. I'll tell you what, I mean, lots of people, refer back to all the sort of escorts and stuff for noise, but to me, you can't beat an R5 car. I mean, it's just awesome noise, isn't it? It's just you can feel it in your belly. It's fantastic stuff.
That's how I feel about old WRC cars, John. Your Fabia and cars like that. And
I'm far more contemporary than you, Paul. That's what it is.
well, you seem to have proved it there, but I'll find a way of proving otherwise, and it won't take long, I'm sure. If you're just tuning in, welcome to Special Stage. We are joined, I'm delighted to say, by John Stone and Laura Marshall. Laura, did you get those results up yet?
Yeah, we do.
This is the overall rally results. We're bringing you the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship ones, but just to give you a flavour of the overall, Cathan's still in the lead, isn't he?
Yeah, Cathan's still in the lead, and then Desi Henry, and then Johnny Greer after that. Just trying to find the results for our Pro Tyre crew. So yeah, Steve Wood took some time back there on Neil Roscoe again, so he's dropped about 13 to Steve Wood in this stage.
Rallyscore.net is where you need to be if you want to watch those live results come through. James Leckie, Stephen McCauley, Toyota AE86 in their rally car history, enjoying all the road and a little bit more there after the hairpin here. You've had Stephen McCauley in with you, John, talking of characters, another character, interesting rally history there for him.
Yeah, great lad actually. Done a lot of co-driving in the Middle East, I think it was, but Steve got in with me when I first got the Skoda, and he had all the gear, all the sat nav stuff then, which wasn't readily available. This is the car I want to see.
This is Irish rally. The locals and those of us who come over to Ireland love to see the Toyota Starlets. It's what brings Irish rallying really to life.
R5 car, go on, I'll give you that. It definitely does. Awesome.
Yeah, but that doesn't make me more contemporary than you just because I think that, does it? Richard Moffat, Martin Connolly, no, not that one, in a Toyota Starlet. I wouldn't have been surprised actually to see that Martin Connolly was out in one of these cars, because I know from my Cadwell Park days when I used to run the Lotus Trophy, he's a big rally fan. He and I used to chat rallying, which was quite cool, talking rallying with a former Formula One driver. And I think coming from this part of the country, you have to be into rally cars, because if you're not, then it's a fair old inconvenience for you, so you may as well get into it early on.
Yeah, I mean, just talking to some of the lads here that are spectating, they just love it, they live for it, they're here every year, they know where to come, and they just love it.
They are great characters. I might just, if I feel brave later, just get them on the microphone. Damien Turner. That was a loud and fast Mark II Escort. It's a family show, so I'm being brave here, but you guys are really enjoying yourself out here, aren't you?
Oh, 100%. Love it. Love it.
About 20 minutes up the road?
Half an hour, Newcastle. So we're all local here.
Love our rallying over here, somebody. Can't beat it.
Favourite car?
Marty Escort.
Yeah. Not the Starlight just went past that. Yeah, you looked very excited.
Still on a Ford. Ford has to be a Ford for me. Ford engine, but.
And you're the man who owns the house, this lovely house that we're...
Brownlow's house. Brownlow's not my house. I just do all the work around it.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, you do a very good job because it's very nicely kept, and I have to say, it's a beautiful area.
What's that? He brought no tea out first.
You can hear the atmosphere out here by the side of the stage, so it's great to have the locals with us. This is part of the character of coming to different places to go rallying. And I've never been to Northern Ireland in my life, and I'm delighted to be here, and particularly to the Carrier Forklift Down Rally, as to Inglis. Colin Inglis. I think it's Ingalls, isn't it?
The last-minute co-driver change in that car as well, wasn't there?
Oh yes, Ian Davis.
Ian Davis.
You were shaking your head because I got the pronunciation wrong, Laura Marshall.
No, I got a phone call during the week to ask if I would actually co-drive for Alistair this weekend, but obviously due to my injury I wasn't able to, so that's how I know there's been a last-minute change-up.
Which means it's due to the fact that she'd, was so excited to be out with Special Stage doing the live coverage.
Oh, of course, yeah. I'm buzzing to be here.
She is, although there's a slight hint of sarcasm. I think it's because the rain came. We did promise bright sunshine, and it'll be bright sunshine again later, John. That's how these things work.
Yeah, I mean, Ian Davis sat in there. He's co-driving for me a couple of times. Good lad, very, very well experienced. So he'll get Alistair around okay.
Darren Atkinson reported that it was pretty slippery out there this morning, but he was enjoying himself, and he was pleased to have Phil back in the car, his long-standing co-driver inside that Haldane Fisher Mark II Escort. Had a bit of a mixed season, but I tell you what, for a mixed season, that is one ominous-looking leaderboard as far as anybody else is concerned, because it's very much Darren Atkinson ahead of that field, John.
Yeah, he's using his brain there.
You said earlier he's a very smart, very switched-on driver.
Yeah, don't underestimate Darren. That car is a real good car. I've been testing with him, and he can drive it as well.
You chat to him outside of the car, he's very happy-go-lucky, and to hear that game face exists inside the car doesn't surprise me given the results we see, but it's always interesting. Stuart Biggerstaff, Anthony Nesta did their first rally in an Impreza World Rally car, an S9 WRC car back in 2010. Didn't do them any good as far as handbrake turns are concerned there, John.
No, well, I've no room to comment whatsoever. But
it's still my favourite video of you and I.
It's brilliant, wasn't it? Great memories, actually. Great memories.
They were good days, weren't they? I thought you were coming for a word there, sir. We have have we got some fan cam action here, have we? Fergal Kelly, one of our photographers here. Fergal, you having a good day on the stages?
Yeah, Medi Day, yeah, good crack.
Last night in Lisbon, I took some great shots, but it was a fantastic atmosphere, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's good to see everybody out there. The rain, but the dampener not there, but just get the crowd out again, not there, So
didn't dampen enthusiasm inside the cars, and it definitely didn't outside. I couldn't believe it. Last car over the ramp, and there were still crowds of people. That's real passion around it for rallying, isn't it?
That's it. You get over here, everybody stands the last one. That's it, So.
Look for FK Photography on Facebook. Some great shots of not only last night's Lisbon City Centre ceremonial start, but also the stages today. Some really good shots coming out of all of our Pro Time Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship media as well after the event. So make sure you stay tuned to the social channels of the championship. Michael McGarrity, Damien Garvey there.
Yeah, Laura was just saying actually when Darren came round there must have been a bit of an altercation going on in the car because she could see a bit of chat between Darren and Phil. So
when co-drivers say a bit of chat, especially when they're holding their hands over their mouths in the way that Laura is, that says something else.
Yeah, it looks like there was a bit of an altercation there, but I'm sure we'll get it on in-car at some point.
Looking forward to that. We've got a car in the field over there. It's managed to get up that hill in a front-wheel drive Suzuki Baleno or whatever it is, or is it Honda Jazz? Either way, very well done up that hill. You look very disappointed in me that I couldn't recognise a Honda Jazz, Laura. It's not my kind of car. Oh, why is it? Those cars sound phenomenal. phenomenal. If you check out Carl White's in-car from Hamilton's Folly on the 2022 event, I was watching my eldest Mason the other night. They don't have the intercom plugged in for the in-car. I'm not sure if that was deliberate or not, but for once you don't hear the whine of the engine. You hear the engine note, and my God, you can hear those bangs from the overrun and the anti-lag inside the car. It's a fantastic sounding thing.
I'm not sure what engine size they are, but they sound absolutely awesome, don't they? I mean, they're obviously a capable car as well, because some of the performances that those two lads are putting in now are...
1.6, aren't they?
I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure. Don't know, but they're going.
Sure somebody will tell us on the live stream. 208 R4.
1.5, I think, something like that. I'm not 100%, but yeah, very impressive. Very impressive.
Yeah, the in-car is, he comes over the second of the Hamilton's Folly jumps and he lands in the hedge. No, it's actually it's the third one, it's near the end. Lands in the hedge and he's got his elbows at the windscreen as he lands. Fantastic bit of in-car. I mentioned it earlier on the earlier stream this morning.
Hamilton's Folly is one of the best stages you're going to get, I think. It's just an awesome stage.
And very iconic as well. Willie Bonnewell, Alan McDougall, who done a fair bit of top-level rallying over in our part of the world, haven't they, over their time?
Yeah, I always remember Willie from Mull, doing Mull and in an Impreza and stuff like that. So maybe he's got this car and that's what he's aiming for. Hopefully, we'll see him back out there.
Yeah, good to see the name back out. I mean, some of the names that have done the stages on this rally. I mean, Hamilton's Folly was in the Circuit of Ireland back in the late 60s, 67. I mean, Paddy Hopkirk is one of the names who won the Circuit of Ireland in the Mini, and then you've got people like Roger Clark, Billy Coleman, Hanu Mikula. It's just what a roll call. Jimmy McRae and actually Andrew Bush, that we'll see from shortly in that Chevette HSR. I mentioned to John earlier, his dad owns Jimmy McRae's Circuit of Ireland winning Chevette HSR. That's a car to have in the family. As you see Richard Clues and Carl Williamson, the disappointment reflected by
I'm sure he'll get over it. I've got to tell the Carl Williamson story. I've got to tell it.
We like Carl Williamson stories.
Yeah, this is the only one I could tell, actually. We did a few seasons over in Ireland, and we had one particular rally whose entry secretary took a shine to both me and Carl, and yeah, she was desperate for our room number, so we actually
to be continued. We'll leave that on a cliffhanger as we see a car that you're all waiting to see. Donald Sweeney and Carl Diffin. Do you know what? They started life. They're rallying life in a Toyota A86. They went to a Mark II Escort, but they're back in the Corolla, and we're very grateful for that. So, the part two of the story, where did John Stone and did Carl Williamson give the rally's organiser, rally secretary, their room number? John Stone picks up the story.
No, we gave them Damien Coles, and he's never walked the same ever again.
Live raw emotion, and Woodford lost for words on the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship.
Don't worry, Damien, we won't tell them what really happened.
Was that the one? Was that the rally where the we don't want to talk about it started?
Definitely don't want to talk about that.
What was that with you guys? It was a thing that became... the rest of us all used the hashtag and never really knew why. They don't like to talk about it.
Because we talk nothing about... We've just kept leading the championship and we just kept going on and on and on about it, and Carl came up with that one.
Carl came up with that one. But he had good fun inside that car, and another crew having great fun inside that car. William Hill, Richard Crozier, a bit of damage on the right front of that Fiesta. They've just clattered that on something, haven't they? But that Rally 3 Fiesta, he's going great guns. Coming into this stage, 4th overall in the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship. And we've talked so far about how quick he's been. I mean, he's coming right through every Fiesta known to man, actually. William Hill in the Hills Ford team had the R200, he's got that. And John said, you know, you put that man in an R5 or you put that man in a Rally 2 now, and you're going to see some pretty spectacular things.
Yeah, we perhaps don't need him in an R5 car. We need to stay where he is, really. But no, he's going very well. He's just getting a bit out of shape there. So
just a few of your competitors actually saying that they'd quite like you to stay commentating. I wonder why they're saying that, John.
No, I'm enjoying it. It's great.